Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. I am getting into my holiday limited edition makeup reviews and I'm starting with this guy because it should be the easiest one to get out. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit in Surreal Light from Hourglass. This is their only holiday release for 2016 and there is the pretty palette in all of its glory. First thing I want to talk about is the packaging. So as you can see, it is like it's got a marble finish, but it is plastic. It's quite sturdy. It does have a snap closure. It's quite firm. It does feel sturdy, like I said. I would not travel with it because the palette is extremely expensive and if you break it, you will be furious. Inside you get a mirror. On the back it does label what's in the palette, so the different colors. I'll get onto that a bit more in a minute. And you get 5 pans of product in your palette. Alright, I feel like we need to talk about value for money. Now, this palette is $116 in Australia. You can purchase it at Mecca Maxima or online at mecca.com.au. It was suggested to me that I actually purchased this palette from Net-a-Porter. It is 110 Australian dollars on Net-a-Porter. They will also charge you $10 postage, so it's going to work out to $120 anyway. Another issue is Mecca really have the monopoly on Hourglass in Australia. Net-a-Porter will not ship this to Australia, so don't even bother trying to buy it on Net-a-Porter. It's not, if you're an Australian, you can't get it there. You have to buy it at Mecca. You've got 2 blushes, a bronzer, a highlight, and an ambient lighting powder. Now, the ambient lighting powder is 4 grams of product. If you purchase these products in their individual pans, you're paying $6.70 per gram of product. So that makes this particular pan of product worth $26.80. When we talk about the highlighters, these are $11.95 per gram when you buy them in the individual pans. In this palette, it is valued at $16.73. And obviously, I am doing direct conversion. The blushes, they are worth $13.09 per gram of product in the individual pans. And in this palette, they are worth $18.32 each. The bronzer is worth $6.54 per gram of product, and in this palette it is $9.15. So each of these small pans are 1.4 grams each. Now, if you do the maths, all of the crap in this palette, hang on, I did the maths, let me make sure I'm correct, it is worth $89.32. Now, if we minus $89.32 from the $116 price tag, we can essentially say that we are paying $26.68 for the packaging. So, in my opinion, this palette is very bad value. Last year's holiday palette was also very bad value, and that's why I didn't buy it. The reason I purchased this one this year is because I really did want to do a breakdown of the value of the palette for this video, and I also do quite like the colors. I do very much like Hourglass Ambient Lighting products, so you know, I'm glad I own the palette, but I want you guys to know it is not good value. Alright, let's talk about the actual powders in the palette. So all 5 shades are new. They cannot be purchased in individual pans at the moment. I'm not going to say that they're exclusive to the palette because, you know, 1 or 2 months into the new year, Hourglass will most likely be bringing some of these out as individual shades. They always do that, so I'm not going to say that these are exclusive to the palette because I don't think they will be for very long. So Hourglass have dubbed this a nude palette, and that was something that really drew me to it. Where we've just hit summer here in Australia, I like more nude, natural looking makeup in summer. Not that you'd be able to tell watching this video, but it's a true thing. Now the powder over here, this is Surreal Light, It's very pretty. It is a very natural nude sort of skin tone. So that's lovely. I really like that powder. It offers like a nice natural glow, which is lovely. Moving on to the bronzer. This one is Surreal Bronze Light. It's nice. It's a nice shade. It does look like a natural bronzed effect. On myself, someone who has a very large forehead, I find that the shimmer particles in this particular powder glow way too much. When you buff the product into your skin, it is almost like putting a little spotlight on like your bronzer. So it's kind of like your bronzer is bronzing and highlighting at the same time. It's not flattering, if you ask me. When you're outside and the light hits this part of your face, which is an area that we typically bronze, and also, you know, around here and bridge of the nose and all that shit. Anyway, when the light hits it, it naturally reflects light anyway because it is a high point of your face. Now, when that high point also has micro shimmer buffed into it, it looks like a spotlight. It glows and it doesn't look natural. So I have decided that the Hourglass bronzing powders are definitely not for me. They are very, very glowy, and I feel like it's too much glow for what I personally use it for. Now, if you have a smaller forehead, I can see why this would be fantastic for you, because while the bronzing and the darker tones would sort of shrink the forehead a little bit, the lightness that the shimmer brings back into it would make it look like a normal sized forehead. So I can see why people love that. For me, someone with a giant forehead that is like half the size of their face anyway, it's not my favorite. The two blushes up the top, we've got, hang on, this is driving me insane. So this one over here is Surreal Effect. Now, this is not nude. When I opened this palette, I was like, what the fuck, Hourglass? This is Barbie pink, and you will see it on my cheeks. It is so, so pink. I use very little product. It's insanely pigmented. People are going to run the risk of clown cheeks with this shade, and to be honest, I don't like it. It pisses me off. The other blush over here, which is Surreal Glow, this is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. It's natural. It's like this dusky peach color. It looks normal. It looks normal. Bright Barbie pink, not so normal, not so natural, not so nude, but dusky peach, perfect. The highlight down here, which is Surreal Strobe Light, this is kind of like a gold, slightly pink, a little bit champagne-y. It's pretty, I like it. The Hourglass highlighters are very subtle. There's no like metallic finish or anything like that. You can build them up if you want, but it's going to start to look really powdery and chunky and cakey. So I don't build them. I just sort of try and get as much on as I can. I buff it in so that those little like fine light reflecting particles are laying flat on the skin. So when the light does hit it, it reflects, you know, very evenly. That sort of helps to make them look brighter. But they're very, very subtle highlights. One last thing I think I should touch on is the size. So there's the palette. It is very small, and that is one of their highlighting powders. So if you've seen them in store, you'll be able to sort of gauge how small these pans are. And to make them look even smaller, there is an ambient lighting powder that is a full-size powder, and yeah, you can see this one's pretty small. Alright, so I'm going to move on to arm swatches of the shades in the palette. These are very, very difficult to see, so forgive me if you can't see them. I did my best, I really did, but they're extremely nude. thoughts for the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Surreal Light palette. I'm going to leave my personal opinions out of my final thoughts because I already told you guys where my issues lie with like the colors and stuff like that. That's all personal stuff and it really has no bearing on the palette because the formula of the palette is spot on. Hourglass do not skimp or change their holiday palette formula. It is the same as what you would find in their full-size products year-round. Another brand that does that is Laura Mercier. Their holiday items are usually minis. They come in packs or like palettes sort of like this, and the formula of what you find in those items is exactly the same as the formula of all their full-size products year-round. Now, the difference between Laura Mercier and Hourglass is Laura Mercier knows that when you're buying a value pack or a Christmas pack or something that is designed for holidays, people want good value. They want to feel like they're getting a gift. They're giving money to the brand, but in turn, they're receiving something extra. Hourglass has totally missed the point of that. So for me, this is not really a good Christmas purchase. This is not where I would point you guys if you're looking for like really beautiful, beautiful products, but also great value. So I would like to see Hourglass change that. I don't think they will. You know, it's their business. They do whatever the fuck they want. But what I want you guys to know, oh, come on here, what are you doing? What I want you guys to know is it is not good value for money. But if you really love Hourglass products, you have quite a collection like I do, and you want to buy it, you're not going to be disappointed because the formula is what you already know and love from Hourglass. Alright guys, so that's it for me today. If you have anything to say about this new Hourglass palette, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. There will be a related blog post linked down below in the description box. And don't forget, Kat and I are giving away a Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette for Christmas. So if you want to enter that, you will also find that link down below in the description box. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.